Oh, okay. Okay. Hey, we are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello and happy Friday, y'all. Happy Friday. Okay, y'all know I'm looking over there to make sure my phone is good so I can share this out, right? So, hello guys, welcome to another edition of the Author Spotlight. This week, we talk to authors usually every Friday or on Fridays, and we just like to highlight them and talk about their books and everything that's going on in their lives, right? So, let me introduce myself. I am Angie Mitchell or Angela M. Mitchell, and I'm the director of sales and marketing for Victoria Shoe Press, and I am the host, right, of the Author Spotlight. And so today I am super excited. For the last couple of weeks, I can't hear. Who can't? Can y'all hear me? Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. It seems like I don't know who that is that's saying they can't hear me, but I hope everybody can hear me. I heard me. Okay, so this week I'm super excited. I hope y'all can hear me. To be speaking to. So for the past couple of weeks, we have been speaking to the gentleman of Nobody Can Hear Me. Okay, hold on, y'all. I don't know what's happening. I'm not on mute. I don't know. Let me try it again. How about now, guys? Can you guys hear me? Somebody said they can hear me. Good, good, good. Okay. So we're gonna try this again, y'all. So for the last couple of weeks, we have been bringing together and speaking with the men of the final installment of the author or the Image in the Mirror series, and we've been speaking to all the men. So today we're going to speak to the last two men. There's seven of them, and so today we're going to speak with the last two gentlemen of this wonderful anthology, Mr. Jabarrie Monsano and Mr. Gene Johnson. I'm going to bring them both up here, and we're just going to have a conversation about this wonderful, wonderful anthology and their chapters and everything good that's going on with them. So here we go. We have Mr. Jabarrie Monsano and
Hello, everyone.
Mr. Gene Johnson. Mr.
Hello,
Gene.
everybody.
Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Jabarrie.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay, how y'all doing today? How is everyone doing today?
Good, good.
Good,
We're good.
good. So, of course, today we're talking about this wonderful upcoming anthology that you guys have going on. So, I am going to start with Jabari. And I just want you, first, I'm going to introduce you again. This is Jabarrie Monsano, and I'm going to let Jabari tell y'all who he is and what he has going on. So, Jabari, you tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you, Miss Angie. Hi, my name is Jabarrie Monsano. I am the son of Nadia Monsano. I'm pretty sure a lot of people that are watching are familiar with her. Currently, I am enrolled at Louisiana State University studying finance. I graduate next May, so I got one more year to go. Um, and I'm in a lot of different organizations at LSU. Currently, I'm in a business fraternity as well. We help do, give back to the community. Obviously, help people professionally and socially and things like that. And I'm just excited to be here. Excited for the opportunity to tell my story and share a little bit more about myself.
I love it. Tell the people, because we heard you say that you're in college right now. Tell the people how old you are. Because I swear, I feel like you just left. Like you my son. Auntie Angie need to know, share with the people that, because this is our youngest author. And I think that is super amazing that you joined this anthology. So just tell the people how old you are so they can understand my excitement.
Yeah, yeah. So I get this a lot, from a lot of the people around me. But I am currently 18. I turned 19 in May. And a lot of
Okay.
people are like, "Oh, I did not know that." Oh, you're so mature
Right.
and things like that.
Right.
But I do appreciate it. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's amazing. So we know, how you connected with Victoria Shoe Press, obviously. Again, he is the son of our lead graphic designer, Nadia Monsano. Y'all know Nadia. Nadia is usually running stuff, but I'm running this tech stuff today. So what first of all, what is the name of your chapter?
So the name of my chapter is Father by Blood, but not by Bond.
Okay. And so just a little bit, you know what I mean, just a tiny bit about kind of what that's about and why you decided to share that.
Yeah, so Father by Blood, not by Bond, to me signified that obviously we all have, parents. That's how we're here. But some of them aren't as prominent in our lives as we may have wanted them to.
Mm.
And that's where the bond part comes into play because I don't necessarily have a true significant bond with my father, and I feel like a lot of people go through a similar kind of life without a dad, and I've seen it not necessarily end too well, or they let it get to them very much. And I wanted to share my story to show people that there's a way in life to live through one parent if you just really use it as motivation to keep going, keep pushing, and do the things that you always want to do without having to have the not necessarily excuse but have the burden of not having two parents.
Right. And of course, you have an amazing support system.
Of course.
We lost Gene. He'll be back. He'll be back, y'all. We having technical difficulties apparently, but we'll keep going. Apparently, like I said, you have a wonderful support system, of course. So I'm sure that made it, at least a little bit easier for you as you were growing up.
Yeah, of
So why did you
course, of
decide?
course.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, my support system has been great since day one. I've had aunts, uncles, cousins, mother, grandmothers. Everyone around me has just truly supported me throughout whatever it is I needed to do, and I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So why, of course, in this time, there's just a lot going on, especially with our young people. You know what I mean? So I'm very excited. I love, what you're doing. I love that you want to make a difference in, the lives of other people. So why do you think that this book is needed? You know what I mean? Why now?
Yeah, I feel like we're in the time where a lot of people we're in the age of social media, I should say, and a lot of people like aspire to be these celebrities and these big influencers in the world, and a lot of people use their insecurities or some of the burdens that they have in their lives to kind of just weigh them down. And I
Right.
wanted to share my story to show that you can be wherever it is that you want it to be, and no matter, because everyone goes through struggles, right? Like, I think there's a quote that says,
Absolutely.
even the happiest person goes through bad days, and a lot of people around me say that I'm one of the happiest people that they know, but a lot of people don't know that, my past or my childhood growing up, it wasn't all sunshines and rainbows, So
Right.
I think given my perspective on how I grew up will inspire other people, maybe younger than me or maybe even older than me, to really recognize that you don't have to just be have the best life growing up in order to feel like you matter or you have a purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. There is so much to learn from you. You know what I mean? So much to learn from your story, just your strength. You know what I mean? It takes a strong person, to deal with that and understand it. Like you said, not having two parents does not make you any less than. So
Hmm.
oh my goodness, I definitely appreciate that. And I just think I love to see I think it's important for other black boys and black men to see you. You know what I mean? To see you at 18 years old and you making it happen and you not making no excuses. You know what I mean? You out here and you doing, you living life, you're doing life. And I think you're doing an amazing job at it, right? So tell me a little
Thank
bit,
you.
what was your experience like? How was your experience with Victoria Shoe Press and with this anthology, the process and meeting the other guys? What was that like for you?
So in terms of Victoria's Youth Press, like you said earlier, I've been doing this for a while with my mom. So process was pretty simple.
Yeah.
I saw her go through it, so it's pretty simple to me. Obviously, balancing class and writing, and all that kind of stuff kind of gets a little bit tricky, but I'm glad that, it all came out to be successful, and I'm glad I'm here right now.
Yeah.
In terms of obviously meeting the other men, as a young kid, like, well, I say young kid, but compared to everyone else,
Right.
it's very inspiring to see that, a lot of men go through different uh, trials and tribulations, and to see them being willing to share their stories as I have with mine, it's very eye opening, and I'm glad that uh, these men that are a part of this anthology with me um, chose to share their story, because I know that it'll have a positive impact as I hope my story will. And it's a very it's many like-minded individuals coming together to
Right.
share their stories, and just give a little bit of insight as to what men go through on a daily basis, and maybe some of the things that we're not comfortable sharing, stepping out of our comfort
Yeah.
zone and being like seeing the bigger picture and the impact that it'll have on many people.
I love it. And like you said, men, the challenges that men go through are, of course, a whole lot different than we as women go through. The challenges that you, of course, at your age and that you've gone through, uh, living, without a father or whatever, is completely different. I think it's great that we get to hear it in your voice. You know what I mean? From your perspective, because we can say whatever, but I think it's important for people to see what the impact, that has, the impact that has on your life, on, young men who have to live like that, but not just the impact it has on your life, but you have been able to, people say product of your environment as if it's a bad
Hmm.
thing, you know what I mean? But you are showing that, yes, you are a product of your environment and you are triumphant, you know what I mean? And it's not
Hmm.
always a bad thing. Right. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I love it. I love that you're sharing. I'm trying not to get distracted, but I love that you decided to come on here, and not just on here, but just put your story out there for other young men to see. So I'm absolutely excited about that, and I appreciate you.
of course.
Yes, y'all. So again, we are talking to two more of the gentlemen of the Image in the Mirror 3, Mr. Jabarrie Monsano and Mr. Gene Johnson. If you guys are just joining, share this broadcast out. Share, 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 because we need everybody to see what's going on with these fellas. We need everyone to get on it with this Image in the Mirror 3. So next up, our next author is Mr. Gene Johnson. Hey, Mr. Gene Johnson, how you doing today?
Ah, working off a 2 hours sleep, but hey, um, bills never stop, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. That ain't no good, man. What you work the
But I'm
overnight shift? You
fine.
been at work at night?
They made me work, so I'm a little kid again.
I can definitely understand that. So you go ahead and introduce yourself. I gave just a little bit. You can just introduce yourself. Tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Gene Johnson. Um, I can go over the whole story, but to abbreviate it, raised by a mother who was a grandmother, and she became a mother again at 65 years old with four little black kids under 5 years old. It was a mission, but I'm still here, um, and I feel I have a lot to share because no one shared the things that I experienced because it's taboo to talk about it. But
Right,
I'm here
right.
today.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, why did you? First of all, how did you get connected to Joan and Victoria Shoe Press? What was that? How did that happen?
Uh, um, like I said, I'm a peace officer in a hospital. Um, a young lady, Miss Patricia Marston, came in, and I saw that she was very upset. She
Mm-hmm.
wanted to see a woman who was very influential in her life, and from her kindness, Miss Patricia got to where she got to.
Mm-hmm.
And I was upset that she couldn't make her peace with this woman who possibly, had at the end of life. So it touched me to make some calls, and I reached out to some of the nurses I've known for 16 years, and they
Mm-hmm.
made it happen to where she was able, you know, to make her peace with this lady, or
Right.
at least say her goodbyes, since she helped her become the person she is today. So
Right.
she went to visit Miss. Her name is Dawn, Miss Dawn. She went to visit her, and when she came back, she was so appreciative that she sat and talked to me for the final 3 hours of my shift. And she was like a lot of people don't go out their way like that, and so on. And I told her, well, shoot, let me tell you, the things I went through with my mother, my father before they passed away, because both of them, well, one passed away when I was 20, like 18 months, and the other one passed
Mm-hmm.
away when I was 17 years old. So uh, being a man on my own, I ran into so many things, especially involving myself with other women because,
Right.
well, I really didn't have a model. Um, and I know it's tough love, but I didn't have a passionate, empathetic moms or female
Right.
figure. It was always that you bet not this, you bet not that. So I did a lot of bet you shouldn't this and I bet you shouldn't that. And it didn't turn out good.
Right.
But like I said, I'm still here and I'm still happy because I understand that the circumstances that happen, you do ultimately have some control over it. Now, whether you
Right.
enforce it or not, that's on you. But if
Right.
you want to dwell in it and live under them circumstances, then you're enabling yourself to go through them circumstances.
Right, 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 right. And I, excuse me, I agree. I definitely agree. And Amy Michelle Hayes said that's deep because it is. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Definitely. Yeah, it is. So Miss Pat, I know Miss Pat. That's how you got connected to be wifey. I know
Yeah.
so sweet. I've never like got to meet her in person, but she is my Facebook friend. She's so supportive. We talk, in Facebook all the time, and she
Mhm.
inboxes me and I inbox her. I love her. So I know exactly who you're talking about. So what made you decide, you know what I mean, after of course connecting with her and all of that, and you got here on this journey, what made you decide that like now was the time?
Because, well, I was well, like I said, I was impressed with her because, well, one, she talked to me about her son Bradley, which passed away in my hospital, and I
Oh
was
wow.
around, and I was just like, oh wow. So you mean things can happen like this, and not to say you're oblivious to it, but like
Right.
you know, it wasn't of our knowledge because, well, when somebody go through something, they should always be supported. And I don't care
Hmm.
what beef or drama you have with them, but at
Hmm.
that time, you're supposed to dismiss everything and be supportive. So
Agreed.
when she told me she was working on this book, and I was like, oh, well, that's good. You know what? Bring Mr. Bradley to life and let everybody see how precious he is. And she was like, well, Shoo, you should too. There's this lady, Miss Jones. She is a phenomenal woman. She gave me the whole. I was like, oh, well, oh, man. I mean, because whenever I talk about the things I went through, especially like with my daughter moms, I mean, it's like ugh, a water bucket head. That's my daughter
Right.
tell me, oh, you a water bucket head. And I'd be like, well, it touched you so profoundly that sometimes all you can do is just cry it out.
Right.
And and even though that releases the pressure like a pressure pot, it doesn't resolve the situation
Right.
unless you accept that the things that you went through for only God knows the reason. But however, there's always a lesson to be learned. It may not be the lesson you particularly like, but it's a
Yeah.
lesson. And when you receive that lesson, you're supposed to make the provisions to change it. If not for yourself, for your kids or other people that come into your life, because they come
Yeah.
into your life for a reason.
Yeah.
So after that,
Absolutely.
Miss Pat was like, listen, Oh, do it, Gene. Just do it. And like I said when I talked to you and Miss Angie, like, oh my God, like, well, I and then I feel a little better, but I got
Hmm.
to the point to where I understand that, like, look, one of the quotes I like is, if you don't like the reflection in the mirror, then change what you're doing in front of it. Which
Right.
means, when you change your behavior and your attitudes, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes the reflection in the mirror would become different because what you're doing. And then that means taking ownership and accountability for your actions. Because sometimes people just want you to be like, I'm sorry. Everybody
Hmm.
can't be the one. The other person could be completely wrong, but if you wait for them to apologize and be remorseful, you may be
Right.
stuck in that point, waiting for them to get to that point when you can release them from their obligation, and then maybe they'll do it like baby steps. 20
Yeah.
years later, my ex-wife still haven't said I'm sorry, but I accepted the terms that it made me grow in a certain degree, that
Hmm.
where I can still talk to her. Do I particularly like it? No, I don't. But however, I'm not going to be stuck in like 2000, still waiting for something. So
Right.
I'm just like, okay, I'm sorry for whatever I may have done to make you feel that way. And whenever she comes around, it'll be at her own due time. But
Right.
I just want people to be enabled to know that they're not forced to stay at the moment that they are, because then they'll never progress to whatever they want to be.
Right. Right. Absolutely. The comments are going through it over here. The comments. So we got Amy Michelle. She said, "It's true. Forgiveness is for you," which of course we know. You know what I mean. You don't want to hold on, but I think it's important that people get to hear the male perspective. You know what I mean? I think it's important for people to understand how all of those interactions, whether it was the interactions with the women in your life, whether it was the interactions, after that or with your daughter, I think it's all important that you share that and that people get to hear, that side of the story. So tell me, Nadia said, proud mother moment. Your mother in the comments, Jabarrie. Proud mama. But so tell me, like, what do you think? How do you think this book will affect other men? How do you think, or affect, support, bless? You know what I mean? Why do you think it's really needed, and how do you think sharing this part of your story, will affect some other people or other men?
Um, I remember the first Zoom meeting we had, and I was explaining like how men are designed, for lack of a better word, because
Right.
yes, people do influence us to become certain people, but I believe that men are just designed to say, not make themselves vulnerable. That's it.
Yeah.
It's macho. Like, listen, I don't want to be with you no more. You be like, all right, that's all right. It's all good. You know what? You know me. And no,
Right.
it's not like that. But
Right.
it carries on from being a kid. You fall and scrape your knee and get off that ground. But while you look at your sister, she fall and get it. Oh, he put her on her lap and hug it. Oh, it's okay. Let me kiss your boo boo. I never got a boo boo kiss.
Right.
We learn to suppress that emotional vulnerability, to where it becomes more difficult to express it 100%.
Yeah.
Now, when guys, I mean, a girl could say something to you and it'll cut you straight to the heart, but you still sit up there with machismo and be like, so my goal is
Right.
to like, look, there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. I mean,
Yeah.
it's nothing. Now, I know you can't be vulnerable with everyone, but there's still a level of vulnerability you can have, to where there's an expression that I have feelings too.
Right.
And maybe even with the women, and I'm not, well, not with the outside people, but with the women you become involved with, they want a certain amount of vulnerability where they feel they're needed. Now,
Hmm.
I ain't write it, but God be like, the woman is your helpmate. That doesn't mean she's less than you or this and that. It means that she's there to help you. But when someone is acting like, I could do everything on my own, I don't need you, it hurts people's feelings, because if I love you, I want to do whatever I can for you. And then at the same time, you're keeping me away at arm's length. You
Right.
feel a certain type of way, like, oh, you're not all in. I give you my
Right.
all and you're not all in. We have to allow ourselves to get to the point that we could love recklessly, if you want to say it like that. Because if you go 100% for somebody, that other person will go 150% for you. But men just got this little governor valve in there. Is we could be laying down and she'd be like, I love you. You'd be like, yeah, I do too. No,
Yeah. Yeah.
just put yourself out there. Sometimes you get hurt, sometimes you don't. But then you just learn you just can't allow yourself to be like that with everybody. But then
Right.
that should teach you you can't be with everybody like that. And I mean, we choose the wrong women. And we know we choose the wrong women. But yet we're willing to be in that situation with that wrong woman, which means you're going to have more problems. Then you're bringing it on yourself, which means you're not being accountable for your interaction and your personal, letting people into your personal circle, make better decisions. And it comes down to you choosing. So with all the mistakes I've made and all the bad choices I've made, I learned that, you know what, take accountability
Mm-hmm.
and then just be transparent. And if that
Right.
means being vulnerable, oh yeah, what movie you want to watch? Oh, you want to watch some superhero? No, I want to watch Love and Basketball. She may be like, oh, you're so nice, and you'd be like, hey, chill, chill. No, but that's what I hope other guys can see out of this process. That it's okay to put your feelings out there, especially to our little boys, because they need to
Yeah.
be able to have a heart instead of being so cold sometimes.
Yeah.
You could say, listen, Junior, take a picture. They'd be like, what happened
Yeah.
to smile and, say
Right.
hug you? Or, no, everything is so cold and distanced, and that's not good.
You know, I never thought of it that way. And you see, Donna in the comments saying, I find some of our men may not have been nurtured the same as our girls. Excuse me. And honestly, I never looked at it that way. Because I think we're conditioned to tell our boys, and you got to be strong. You know what I mean? No, you better not cry. So what if you hurt your leg? Get up and shake it off. You know what I mean? So I definitely get that. I never, took that into consideration and thought of that. So I'm very grateful and I'm glad that that you shared that part. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
I think it is definitely important that other men understand that it's okay to be vulnerable.
And it
Right.
transfers just not from love because, like I said, it's about making yourself transparent. You know how many black men go to the doctor and they know they got some aches and pains somewhere, and what, or even ED, they'll be like, oh, well, sometimes no, don't be like sometimes. Be transparent because if you tell the doctor, oh, yes, it's only my shoulder, and it's your knee that hurt too, or your back, you're not going to get the help you want. So, like, even, you got to be transparent in so many things as a man, but a man is not going to say he's weak, he's in
Hmm.
pain, he's hurting. I miss you
Right.
because that machismo and that place of vulnerability is not a comfortable place. But if you can't be comfortable with the one you're intimate with or close with, then it's already going to go bad.
Right. Right. I agree. I agree. So, wow. You know what I mean? Like I said, you have shared a perspective I'm sure that not many of us think of, that not many of us, consider at all. So I think it's definitely important. I cannot wait to read your chapter. I can't wait for other people to get a hold of this book, man. I think that this book is extremely important. You guys' story, all the stories in this anthology are going to definitely bless so many people, and of course, not just show the men, that they can be vulnerable, but show the women, that they need to listen to that side, that they have to take those things into consideration. And so, I applaud you and I thank you and I appreciate you sharing your story. Do you have like anything else you want to say in closing?
Um, just it's okay. Well, women like to be put on your big boy drawers now, but I mean, sometimes it's okay to just be in your feelings. Nothing wrong with being in your feelings. We're all human. With
Mhm.
flesh like we're designed to love. That's why God gave us another to be with. And it's all right to put them feelings out there. And if the feelings aren't reciprocated, then you got the mathematical equation already to just delete that side and look for something else, or just wait instead of rushing into something. But it's okay to be in your feelings.
Yeah, I like that. Jabari, do you have any closing remarks that you want to share?
First of all, I want to say that's a powerful, powerful statements from Gene. Definitely
Yeah.
Thank
taking those into consideration. Um, I just want to say that, like Gene said, don't be afraid to be you. We're all human. We all have emotions, no matter what, however you've grown up, and we're in an age and time now where, uh, where a lot of people are afraid to show who they really are, and they put on this fake persona to try to get the clicks, the likes, the engagement, but knowing
Right.
deep down that they're struggling with just being themselves, living life happily. And so, no matter what background you come from, obviously, me and Gene come from very different backgrounds, but you can see that we both have the same kind of mindset uh, as to how to live life and how to be comfortable with ourselves, and never be
Mhm.
afraid to just be you,
Yeah.
and reach out to people. That's the main thing is for men. We don't necessarily reach out to people. We'll stick to ourselves, but it's very important to make those connections, lifelong connections sometimes too,
Yeah.
with the people that can understand what you go through and help you through those situations.
Absolutely. You guys heard it, in this section, I think this has been a really good, today's been a really good day. The story, what you guys are sharing is so powerful, and so impactful. You know what I mean? I think it's impactful and important. That's, the main thing. I think it's important that you guys get your stories out there. I think it's important that other men, young men, old men, and people in between, and not again, not just the other men, because the women in the comments are saying, Donna just said, they are also teaching us women how to treat our men and know that they too have feelings. So I definitely think that your perspective, you guys' perspective, and the perspectives of the other gentlemen in this book are needed, not again, not just for men, but for women to see and know and understand that you guys have feelings too. Right. So I appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you. I'm super glad that y'all joined. And I don't know what I was about to say. Something just never mind. But I'm glad that y'all joined. I'm glad that you guys, popped on here to let us get just a tiny glimpse of, what is going to be what you guys are sharing in the book. So I thank you all for joining. Thank you, Jean. Say goodbye to the people. I thank you.
Bye.
Oh, I always take people out too fast. Okay, Jabari, so I'll do it real quick. Say goodbye to the people.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining. Y'all, I always snatch the people out too too quick. It's so ridiculous. But again, I am Angela M. Mitchell. I am the director of sales and marketing here at Victoria Shoe Press, and I just chatted with the last two co-authors of The Image in the Mirror 3. The We are launching this book. The ebook launch is taking place right here in the group on March 23rd. March 23rd. So join us also. Love you, Angie. I love you too, Nana. And then also, I want you to make sure you join us next week. We're going to be behind the scenes. So we're going to be talking to Joan. We're going to talk to some of the editors, not some of the editors, one of the editors, lead editor Lynn Braxton. We're going to talk to Nadia, our graphic designer, and me. We're all going to sit up here and we're going to chit chat. And we're going to get into it just so you can hear our perspective and what it was like working behind the scenes, working with these men, putting this anthology together. So, again, I thank you. And y'all know I love to say until next time. So, thank you for joining. Bye bye.